Hello everybody, we are back here with another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about a potential large snowstorm for the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, and even parts of the Great Lakes. So here we actually start out with a little slideshow that I have. So very large nor'easters, very possible to bring heavy wet snow, heavy rain, strong winds, and not any more of those warm temperatures. This is from the warm nor'easter, but this nor'easter is actually going to be a snow nor'easter, the one that we usually see classic, probably a classic B type nor'easter. So here is my forecast right now, where I'm looking for the best possibility in the area that where the snowstorm is going to occur. Wherever you guys are in the red, you guys have a very likelihood to see a snowstorm on Saturday, Sunday, into Monday morning right now. If you guys are in the Tennessee mountains, North Carolina mountains, West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, upstate New York, Washington, D.C. could be on the line, Boston, a little bit of Maine. I'm a little bit more debating on the northern side of this because maybe we'll have to see. I'll probably update this tomorrow morning because we're gonna have another video out tomorrow morning most likely, and then so probably in these more areas are likely to see that winter storm potential. All right. Now we're going to take a look at the snowstorm probabilities. This is another map that's actually from NOAA, and this is the snowstorm probability pretty much. So you can tell if you guys are in the whites, that is pretty much a 0 to a 10%. If you guys are in that light green, a 10 to a 30, that's very widespread out, even closing into Chicago, Ohio. Then if you go into that darker shading of green, 30 to 50%, very widespread, where I circled up in there. And then you guys even got some spots already showing up to 50 to 70% of a snowstorm or snow precip. And then you guys even have in parts of the mountains already up to 70 to a 90% already starting to show up. So the snowstorm probability has really gone up. And then what is causing the pattern? Like, what's the setup? So in the last few other videos, we were talking about the PNA, AO, and EPO and the stratosphere warming event. So this is kind of all now setting in place with potential very cold temperatures. And now we actually got the precip to back it up and the pattern. So we're going to actually have a blocking high, actually two highs, one on the northern side of this and one on the eastern side of this. That's not going to let this be a classic A type nor'easter. It's probably going to go through central, southeast, into and pretty much jump off the coast near the Carolinas or so, but it's not going to be like going through the Gulf, Florida, and then up the East Coast. It's going to be more like a Miller type B storm. So the big black line is pretty much the jet stream that is forecasted for this system. And this is a great jet stream for nor'easters, Miller B and even Miller A. Miller A, you kind of wanted more of a ridging out in the west and dipping a little bit more deeper and then doing something like that for Miller A type nor'easter. DL with the smaller line is the snowstorm track of this through the southeast majority of it. And then the big L is the next storm system. Now we'll talk after this one. And then the H is with arrows is the high pressure. And what's this high pressure doing, if you guys cannot tell with the arrows? It's bringing down colder air from the Arctic. And in the purple line, it's pretty much the driven point of one of them of the colder air. So the colder air is going to be very supportive in this setup. So the setup for this storm is very good for a big winter storm for the Northeast with some gusty winds and very cold temperatures. The snowfall forecast map for this. This is likely going to change. This is pretty much like the average of all models. Is I am expecting anyone in the light blue 1 to 3 inches. This is a broad thinking right now, but this is going to change by tomorrow night when I do another video. Then second shading of blue, likely second shaded of blue is 3 to 6 inches. This one pretty much in that area. So whoever's in that, and then you got darker blue shade 6 to 10 inches. That's a little smaller, and then you do have a purple shading of 10 to 15 inches. That's for pretty much PA, parts of eastern New Jersey, upstate New York, and back in the Appalachian Mountains. I do think maybe 10 to 15 inches, but this is likely going to change by tomorrow. But this is pretty much what I have here of the basics of this storm system. So now let's go into some models. All right. And GFS is actually coming out. Icon is coming out. So we're going to see how far Icon is on this and kind of see. So we get through this first system, nothing really, just some rain and showers. But this is that next system, likely. And this is that look for 1 a.m. on Saturday morning, a potential large storm. The storm, like I said, it could be a little bit more north, it could be a little bit more south, but this is that northeaster that I am talking about with the icon. You can tell bringing very heavy snow in southern New England, but this is actually going to be a mainly of Washington D.C., New York City, and I do think Eastern PA and New Jersey is probably going to be the area to absolutely get hammered in this as of right now. This could completely change, but the icon's been pretty consistent on this. With yeah, I know it jumps, but this is like potentially the worst of it on this model. You can tell snow all the way reaching back into Ohio, Central PA, Eastern PA, Washington D.C., even some changing in New Jersey, Philadelphia. See some snow, New York City. But this is going to be a very strong nor'easter too, with a 988 millibar storm. So maybe not the strongest, but definitely enough to bring up to blizzard conditions in spots. Then this thing moves out. But a question you might have is, why is it not going up the East Coast like a classic nor'easter? The reason for it's because that blocking high, that this blocking high up here, depending how strong it is really going to limit of how far north that's going to get. But I do not, at least of right now, think this is going to be a classic nor'easter that goes up. It's going to form off the East Coast. Yes, it's going to bring a lot more precip. And you can definitely hear with that dumping heavy snow with those gusty winds on the latest icon. This is just 1 mile. So likelihood of the temperatures pretty much very good for snow in the upper 20s to low 30s. That's pretty much a nice fluffy, maybe as you get closer to the coast, is more of a wet, heavy snow. But as we continue to watch this, we have to see the mesoscale models for the banding, because we can definitely get a band in these storms that are very conducive for some big snows. But even Massachusetts and southern Maine gets in the line of this. And, you know, probably total snowfall, it's probably not out yet on this. Yeah, it's not even close. But that's the latest icon. And that's very interesting, showing that very large nor'easter that we are really going to be taking a look for next Saturday. So this is probably going to be the worst of it. This is like 1 a.m. This is by 4 a.m., 7 a.m. It's still a blizzard. Depending how close this is or south, could be a little different. All right. So let's take a look at the GFS. It's not even out yet. So we're actually going to take a look at the 18Z, because I'm not too worried about this. I am worried about this, but in a good way. I'm a snow lover. I love to see the snow. New York City hasn't seen snow in a year and a half. They only seen a trace last year. So this will be a nice dumping snowstorm, a different type storm in a while. But there's that first system helping that colder air, but there's that second. and you have a new run coming out, but this is from last run with that precip, and boom, very heavy snow crashes in. Like I said, and we need to see if this is a little bit more further north because the icon has it a little bit more further north, and the Euro has it more further north. And the Euro has been doing a great job on this, and I really am proud of the Euro right now. But there's that storm, very, very strong, gusty winds, cold air, and this is becoming a 989. This could be a little bit more further north because we'll see about the Nazirzy, but very heavy snow, like I said, but even snow back in Ohio, the Great Lakes is possible. You can tell as this continues to move out, you're going to have some gusty winds and pretty much some light to, I'll say, steady, moderate snow, pretty much for everyone in Philly, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, on the line of it. We'll see if that trends a little bit more north, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Long Island. But this is looking like a very good storm. This actually was the last run. So it's been changing, but the 18Z decided to come up a little bit more north, and we'll see if it's a bit more aggressive. But you can tell even through that, you still got this storm. Yes, the winds will die down, but you still got bands of snow in the area by 7 p. So when does it start? Maybe Saturday night. And then this is pretty much all day Sunday. So Sunday probably going to be your blizzard day into pretty much midnight, probably. And then we get another system. We're not even going to talk about that because the first system we're trying to figure out. But how much snow does the GFS wants to rain out? And it's quite a bit, to be honest. Many areas seeing up to maybe 10 to 15 inches. This track is a little bit more southern, but everyone's seeing over 6 inches. New York City seeing about 6 inches. Allentown, Philadelphia, New Jersey, seeing up to 8 inches. You tell the heavier is a little bit more south and eastern. We'll see about that with the latest run. Likely to change, but up to 10 to 15 inches, maybe even higher, with up to 18 inches in some spots in those mountains and Appalachians. But this is just a model run, right? Last run was way more south, and then the other one was like this. So a lot of uncertainty still with the models, but we're probably going to be trying to figure that out through tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday. So Friday is probably going to be the official forecast for my forecast with the snowfall. But there's that system, new model run coming out, but it's not fully out yet. But it's not just the GFS showing this or the icon. We got the Canadian model all in with this big storm, heavy snow, a little bit more inland, strong gusty winds, and like I said, a dumping of snow. And I will admit, the year and this one up to maybe a foot of snow. So looking pretty much all average with the models right now. All right. The European. It's been bullseyeing this storm. It's been probably the most significant run out of them all. And this thing absolutely becomes a monster, a lot more dynamic than the GFS. And so far, what I've been realizing, whatever trend the Euro's been having, the trend actually happens with the GFS. So right now, Euro's been in lead for I think the most accuracy because whatever happens with the Euro, the GFS trends to it. Like that southern trend in the 12Z and the 8 and that run was because the Euro overnight was showing a little bit trend to the south, and then the 12Z came trended to the north, and that's why the 18Z decides to go a little bit north. So it's pretty unique, but there's the Euro, absolutely bomb of a blizzard. This is probably going to be a very strong blizzard, as I said right there. I mean, very, very heavy snow. This one actually even mentions to go into New England. Even New England sees it, but then it even wraps around up there. So it's very interesting how the year is a lot more north than the GFS, but they're all in the same track, and that's why I do think the zero Z might pull the trigger of going a bit more north, and we're probably gonna see heavier totals. All right, we're gonna be doing a video tomorrow morning right away on all this, seeing what happened overnight into the 6Z runs in the morning, and then we're probably gonna have a video later in the day. But there is the storm, and I mean very heavy snow that the year has. Very heavy snow, strong winds throughout eastern PA, northern PA, New Jersey, New York City getting absolutely slammed. But I mean, absolutely a strong, strong storm. And it's not just a Euro agreeing. So, how likely for the storm to happen is pretty much at this point likely, I would say. Um, we'll have to see, but there's that other system. Maybe up to a coating to an inch with that system, nothing too much. But that second system, there's that bullseye. I mean, wherever you see those heavy snows, I mean, pretty much everyone sees half foot plus. I mean, my area sees up to 12 inches, 13, even 17 up in here, where the heaviest total, even near Boston in Massachusetts, see up to a foot of snow. New York City sees up to 9 inches. Philadelphia up to like 8 inches. Washington D.C. up to like a foot almost. Pretty much all PA sees 5+ inches if the year was going to happen. The thing is, the consistency on the Euro model is very consistent. It's very crazy to me, but the Euro is absolutely bombing it with this storm right now. I personally think. I think it's doing a fantastic job, but you can tell on the zero Z, there it is. It was a lot more south with the heavier totals, and then that new run came in and brought that. So that's what I'm saying. Please watch out what the euro does, because whatever the euro does, I guarantee you right now the way it's been looking that your GFS will follow in. So it's going to be very interesting seeing the zero Z run come out and see what it shows, because we really could have a very large storm. All right. So we looked at the euro. Oh, we need to look at the ensembles. EPS fast. Let's see what I can pull off here. So let's take a look at the GFS ensembles. I don't know if weather dot nerds. Hmm. I'm just looking. No, it's not good for that. I thought it would mean we can look at the mean snowfall for this system with the GEFS. That second system though, but wow. I mean, look at the GEFS. Its ensemble was very high here with up to 8 inches. And remember, it's like 25 models into one. So it's very significant that the sign here with the ensembles is very strong. You tell some of these, I mean, this one, number one, very strong. Number two, a lot more further north. Three, bang. Number 4, bang. Number 5, nothing. Number 6, nothing. Number 7, south, north, north, kind of, north, south, north. Perfect. Perfect. Interesting, weird event there. 15's good, 16, 17, 18, and pretty much good. So it's very interesting what we are seeing with this storm here. All right, let's just keep that GFS run going. All right. So let's take a look at the AccuWeather. All right, the AccuWeather is calling for that major. Oh, I stupidly updated. Major winter storm brewing with snow, ice, rain to blast the Northeast. That's very likely at this point. Millions could see the significant widespread winter storm of the season, maybe in years. So this could be actually the biggest storm in years, you guys. So let's look at this. This was very interesting when I started looking. Number of days since 1 inch of snowfall. New York City hasn't seen an inch of snow since February 16th, 2022. It's been 683 days since New York seen an inch of snow. Philadelphia, PA, January 29th, 2022. 701 days since they've seen an inch of snow. Washington, D.C., 714, January 16th. Baltimore's January 28th. It's been 722. And then Boston, Massachusetts hasn't seen an inch of snow since February 23rd. An inch, you guys. It's crazy. It's been 311 days. So it's very unique how it is some true snowfall. And then this is the snow drought to end 2023. New York only seeing a trace. Hartford, Connecticut only a trace. Boston, Massachusetts only seeing a 0.2. That's crazy. Portland, Maine 0.7, 1.7 in Pittsburgh, PA. And the historic average used to see at least 5 inches in New York, 12 inches in Hartford, Boston 10, 17 in Portland, Maine, 10 inches and a half in Pittsburgh, PA. So it's very interesting how this is going to be probably the biggest snowstorm in quite a few years. All right. Um, they don't really have any accumulations or yet on that, but it'll probably be a lot more detailed, I would say, with this storm coming up, like tomorrow, Wednesday. Probably gonna have more of that information that we are looking for, but I will say it, the winds with the 18Z, very, very strong. Likely. I mean, look, this is along the shoreline, and we need to see how the new GFS comes in. But look at the winds, 10-meter winds along the shore, up to maybe 50, 60 miles an hour winds, depending how deep that can get. This thing could trend even stronger, but very strong winds to be likely. The wind gusts, once again, very strong, near 60 miles an hour, maybe even higher. So keep a track on this storm. This is going to be a very significant storm. So it's going to be unique watching the newest run of the GFS. I'm seeing how quickly it's going, but actually it might be a little faster if we use this. I'm trying to find the fastest website that the run updates. Is that really? This thing only goes 90. Interesting. Weather. Tropical Tibbets is actually the fastest on this storm. 84 hours out. There it is. Interesting. Looking a little bit more north. To me, this looks like the low is going to be a little bit more north. So, like I said, that snow being a bit more north. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more north. And probably faster. So I'm going to let you guys go. See you guys in the next video. Bye.